Well, it promises to be an intriguing matchup in round 3 action of the VFL from North Port Oval. The home side, the Borough, were undefeated coming into it, but Werribee had collared them a couple of times pretty significantly last season, Reece. So the Borough had a point to prove against what appeared to be on paper a powerful Werribee lineup.
Yeah, and it was certainly something Gary Ayres did touch on with his group, and for all intensive purposes, it looked like Werribee were going to do it again. They got off to a great start, and Majak Dor, he was just marking everything and kicking goals, and he was thumping them through. So
it was a stunning opening quarter for Majak, wasn't it? Josh Scipione here involved. He set up this goal for Julian Rowe, but Scipione was the player that kept Port Melbourne in it with his electricity out forward. Up the other end, Majak Dor had 3 goals before quarter time, and Werribee held a 14-point lead. It looked superb.
And Scipione was the other one. We saw him dishing off that goal to Rowe, but he kicked 2 himself in the first quarter, so he was a significant contributor as well to keep his team alive, and with Werribee doing most of the attacking.
Here's again Majak Dor. The thing that stood out for us in this opening quarter was Dor deep forward, the way they delivered the ball to him.
Yeah, and look, he's the sort of player who, if you put the ball up and out in front of him, he becomes almost unstoppable. And Werribee, to their credit, they kicked the first goal of the second quarter and really looked to have some momentum going.
They had a 22-point lead, but then something changed.
Yeah, it did. And just the momentum changed completely. And we just see Toby Pinwell going in hard there. The numbers around the ball, it was just all Port Melbourne. They wanted the ball more. They attacked it harder, and they got the results from it.
They did. This was probably the goal of the day from Toby Pinwell. Hard up against that boundary line. It's almost impossible to kick goals from there. We see it week after week. He was able to do it then. He was good enough to do it. And then we fast forward to the third quarter. But back on that with this kick from Josh Purcell, that had the 26-point lead for Port Melbourne. What they did in that second quarter was simply extraordinary. They kicked 7 goals in a row, and it was their pressure. And then they continued it. This goal from Julian Rowe and another one that followed from Bonadero had them out to a 32-point lead.
Yeah, and look, they were just dominating. But to Werribee's credit, they came back. We watched a big fella Dor here. Now he's kicking into a slight breeze. He has thumped that ball. We could hear it from the commentary box when he kicked that, and he just wanted to will that through. And he was a presence down forward. He needs a bit of work to do on certain parts of his game, but he was significant today.
When Majak Dor kicked that goal, the margin was back to 11, and Werribee they looked like they were going to overrun Port Melbourne. But this goal from Will Johnson, followed by some smart play from his teammates to just soak up the time that was remaining on the clock, meant that Port Melbourne were able to hang on for a well-deserved victory. In the end, the numbers were pretty tight, but on the scoreboard, Port Melbourne had the victory. They're third for the season. They remain undefeated. Port Melbourne 16-11, 107, defeating Werribee 14-10, 94.